Hey guys, it's Taylor Gamble and I'm here with my friends at Guitar Center, and today we're checking out the Fender Player II Modified Series HSS Strat. I am an artist and professional guitarist based in Los Angeles, California. I've played for a lot of people all over the world, big and small. I just released my own album titled The Cure, and it's available on all platforms. I got introduced to the Strat like as my own personal guitar when I was playing gospel. That requires a lot of, tremolo, and just that Strat sound was necessary to be able to play that genre. And so I actually went and got my first guitar on, I think it was my second big gospel gig with Todd Delaney. And from then on, I was a Strat girl, so definitely have a lot of Strat influences. One of my favorite tones, and I don't feel like I've nailed it yet, but Eric Johnson, his tone is incredible. Of course, I listen to Jimmy, Jonathan Dubose, like I said, coming from the gospel arena, and just different people like that. You can tell they have a solid foundation, and I think the Strat helps tonally to really give you that cut through mid-range, slappy type of sound. And so I think the Strat has always been really the go-to guitar for a lot of other genres as well. Honestly, this guitar reminds me a lot of my very first Strat that I got. Just the modern C shape was something that really stuck out to me. I was like, oh, this feels like, my first Strat. It's really slick. I feel like I can get around pretty quickly without having too many problems. I love the locking tuners. Ever since I got a guitar with locking tuners on it, I've not changed it. Every guitar has to have it, as well as just the color. I think the color is gorgeous. I don't have anything like this, but it's inspired me to, branch out and try other colors. Like, it's just a beautiful guitar, and then, I'm a humbucker girl. And so really anything with a humbucker, you've got me. All of my Strats have humbuckers on it. Like, I can get down with the single coil, but I would prefer a humbucker. I think it sounds good with the way that I play because, a lot of your tone is in your fingers. And I've always felt like playing with the humbucker always kind of really gave me that extra well-rounded tone. But what I love about this guitar is not only do they have the Player II modified pickup, what I love is that they also have the coil split. So you can take the humbucker and split it as if it was a single coil. So if I need that single coil sound, I can get it. And then for the single coils, they've got the Player II Noiseless pickups, which is amazing. Chef's kiss. You can get a lot of different tones out of this guitar, which I really like. But overall, it reminds me so much of my very first Strat. So it's kind of special to me. I like it. All right, so today I have my Line 6 Pod Go going into my Fender Twin Reverb amp. Twins, classic. My Pod Go, that's been my girl for a little minute. She gets me to where I gotta go when I have quick gigs. So we're gonna start on our neck pickup. I got a little bit of a crunch going on, kind of like a tube screamer kind of sound. And that's kind of what I was feeling for this position. So let's go ahead and give it a try. I think it felt chunkier, and I like that. Like it gave me a little more grit. And so when I combine that with like a crunchier tone, it really gives me that kind of just want to go for it tone. And if I was on stage and I played like with a little bit of delay or something like that, I feel like I could really kill, like, especially like crunchy rhythmic parts, with those lines in between and then coming back. Like, I really like that specific tone on this neck. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play the same position, but clean, just to give you a better idea of what it sounds like with no effects on it. Let's go ahead and give it a try. So I would use that clean tone in a situation where the guitar is the prominent instrument in a chord progression. Because like I said, it has that fullness, it cuts through very nicely. And even if you do turn effects on and everything, the clarity is not getting drowned out. It's still cutting through and you still got that fullness, you know, the well-roundedness of your tone. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to position 4, which is going to be our middle pickup and our neck pickup. Honestly, this position is actually my favorite Strat position. I'm a fingerstyle girl. I love playing fingerstyle, and I just always felt like that middle and this neck together kind of rolls off the low end a little bit more, and it again gives you more of that like sharp in your face type of tone without losing too much of like the substance, you know, and it not becoming too tinty, you know. So when I'm playing fingerstyle, I just feel like it just sounds so good and it makes me want to play even more. Another thing that I love is the fact that they added this Rosewood fingerboard. All of my guitars are Rosewood. I think I only have one maple neck. I think Rosewood adds that extra warmth, a really soothing tone for me whenever I'm playing on a guitar. I'm really excited about the fact that they put that on here. So I am known to play a lot of R&B and a lot of gospel in my career, and I think introducing a pick helps to bring more definition to the notes, whereas playing fingerstyle, I usually do that for more like pretty sounding stuff or something that, you know, sounds more melodic, which, you know, that has its place. But I think introducing a pick definitely brings more definition and gives you freedoms with more things like double stops and everything that kind of really, like, again, give you that in your face kind of tone. So yeah, this position, chef's kiss. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the third position, which is going to be our middle pickup. So middle pickup, I would probably play this more in a gospel situation, like maybe something that's a little bit more like, you know, old school gospel, or like if I was in a quartet situation, or if I was in a situation where I have to do a lot of chicken picky or like picky type of stuff. In that scenario, you know, it really sits on top of everything else as far as like the mix is concerned. And so I think I would use it in a more gospel situation. All right, so I'm going to slap on a little bit of chorus just to see what that sounds like, because I always like that middle pickup with the chorus combined. It really sticks out when it comes to a song, especially with the right part. It sounds great. So let's give it a try. So typically with tones that maybe it's like I wouldn't use them in every setting, I typically like to like play around with other effects to add to it to give it more character. Cause I make loops and everything else. And so it's always cool when you hear the loops that are very distinct in tone. And I feel like the middle pickup kind of gives me that. So if I put a little bit of a flange on it or a chorus, like a lot of those modulation type of effects really come out best on the middle pickup. So now let's check out the second position, which will be our bridge and our middle pickup. Okay, so this position I don't typically play in. Still sounds good. Definitely gives like chicken pickany type vibes, which is why I like all of the fast picking type of thing. That makes a lot of sense for me, and pairing them with like double stops and chords and everything. It's like, it makes it kind of fun to play. So. I like bridge pickup for like high gain things where it's like I really need certain notes to kind of scream a little bit or give a little bit of like that hot feedback type of feel. So anytime that I have to play like a high gain solo or like anything like rhythmic like that where you really want to hear the palm mutes or you really want to hear like pinch harmonics or something like that, I think that the bridge is perfect for those type of scenarios. All right, now that we've done a high gain scenario, let's do a straight clean and see how that sounds. Yeah, so what I like about that position clean is when I'm finger plucking, it gives me more of a little bit of emphasis on when I glide or when I want to put more emphasis on the high end of my finger style playing. And then when you put a little bit of delay on it, it kind of gives it a little bit of like a dark, mysterious, very like peculiar type of sound that's like, oh wow, what is this? You know what I mean? And I like that a lot. I like being able to create tones that kind of give you a feeling more so than just that's the typical whatever sound. So yeah, I think that sounds good with a clean tone. So now let's get to one of the more special features about this guitar, which is the split. What this does is it takes the humbucker and it splits it into two, making it as if this was just a single coil paired with another single coil, which I find very useful because, again, I'm playing humbucker all the time, but every now and then I still need that single coil sound. So let's go ahead and give it a try. I really like how, when you split the humbucker, it kind of gives you an extra little bit of sheen on top. It kind of like sparkles a little bit. And I love that. Like it kind of gives you a little bit of that, oh, it feels nice, versus too much boldness. I love that they added that to this guitar, which gives me even more variety as far as being able to choose, which tone I want to use. All in all, this guitar, I would use it as more of a session guitar, only because of the variety of different tones that you can get out of it. Or if you're playing a show where you need to be able to utilize those different tones, especially like I said, the coil split makes a huge difference because that's even more tones to choose from. Sometimes the difference between getting from one tone to another could be the pickup. You know, it doesn't have to necessarily be the pedal board alone. And so I think that that is very important, especially when it comes to playing professionally. So if you'd like to learn more about the Fender Player II Modified Series HSS Strat, you can go to guitarcenter.com, contact one of their expert gear advisors, or check it out yourself at your local GC.